Today, Saturday, November 22nd, it's around 2:30 p.m. I have an 8.5 mile long run, and I'm gonna try out some new trails over by the river. And here I have 60 grams of carbs from, it's like the Feed's high carb mix, drink mix. Nothing fancy. I really don't love the flavor, to be honest, but I'm gonna take this. I have similarly carb gels from this new brand I'm trying. 50 grams in one, 25 grams in the smaller one. And they have some other options that have electrolytes in them or even caffeine, but I'm just going for the regular today. I had a little bit of caffeine already. So we're gonna get this down and then we'll get on our way. Throw in the gels, probably mile 4 and 6. And we're trying a high carbing fueling approach. I normally, for even a run like this, like 8.5 miles, I wouldn't take any gels normally, but I want to maintain quality through my sessions and particularly have high intensity when it comes to my training. And if I want to try out if high carb is the thing that's going to allow me to do so and maintain, good effort, especially like late into workouts when it's easy to blow up. To be determined. So with that, let's hit the road. On feet, I'm wearing Mount to Coast P1. They have about near 400 miles on them now, and I'm gonna replace them very soon, but they've been super reliable and I actually really like them. I think the cushion is super great. I was hoping that they'd hold up maybe a couple, like 100 to 200 more miles than they actually did. I think the cushion's starting to lose some of its, cushionedness, but overall great shoe. And my next shoe coming in is actually also Mount to Coast, so it'll be the R1 instead, so a little bit more geared towards road racing. Yeah, let's do this. Beautiful day. Probably like 50 degrees, pretty sunny. I'm trying new insoles in these shoes. I guess all my running shoes now. I don't know how to feel about it yet. It's significantly increased the weight of the shoe. Feels a little bit clunkier on the foot. We'll see. You gotta break them, man. It's hard to write these things off day one or even probably like day 6, for that fact. But yeah, probably like less than a half mile into the run right now. Just feeling good. Feeling pretty loose, actually. I've been having a lot of muscle soreness and tightness as I've started going to the gym again recently. So I'm actually pretty grateful to, not having any aches and pains right now. And just be on the move. Have some sun. Yeah. Let's see if we can keep this up. Gotta pause my music. I'm running for about, let's see. I started training for the marathon I ran in July, back in March of 2025. And it's November now, so it's been a good around 8 months of running, training more seriously, following a training plan, thinking about my gear and I guess fueling as well for running. So in that time period, I feel like I've learned a lot, and in particular, the last 2 to 3 months have really progressed more so than I did in the initial probably 5 months. I ran my first marathon in San Francisco at the end of July. I was overall really happy with the result. I wanted to go sub 340, I think. And I ran 335 as the first marathon. Felt pretty proud of that. But got lofty goals, and I'd love to go sub 3, you know, if we're lucky within 2026, but certainly within, you know, the next couple years, and tons of other goals within endurance performance sports as well. I'd want to do an Ironman, at least a half within 2026. So a lot to train for. You know, this is realistically for me, that was just the 1 mile. I think that was a 9:46 pace. I'm running a little slow today because I don't normally talk during my runs. Here I am, and it's actually taking a lot more out of me than I expected. And even just holding my arm up like this is actually kind of tiring. But what was I saying? Well, yeah, the build. You know, for YouTube purposes, this is day 1 of the build. But I started running again post-marathon back in September. And actually, this is probably day 70-ish of my running everyday run streak. So that's pretty gratifying. I run at least a mile every day. Even on my off days, I'll go a mile. And the streak's strong. Definitely takes a little bit of planning, discipline, but I enjoy it. Same way I enjoy running. So yeah, day 70, running every day streak, probably about 2 months into the build. Day 1, recording my experience, doing vlogs for YouTube. I want to talk about high carb. I mean, like the most basic runners, I'd like to think, I take fueling semi-seriously. I certainly try to replenish my electrolytes post-runs, and also try to think about having enough carbs in my day to provide energy for my runs, and certainly in the middle of my runs have gels for fueling, little things like that. But all in all, because it's an expensive routine, I was maybe getting maximum 60 grams of carbs per hour on a good training session. Really only like my long runs. And I follow this ultra runner, David Roche. Let's go Roche. David Roche. You know, Leadville 100 course record holder amongst many other, you know, ultra marathon sort of champion goals and things like that. He really promotes high carb and actually preaches the holy number of 120 grams of carbs per hour. We're trying something new here. We're gonna aim for, I think, more realistically with my budget and the type of runs I do, because I don't particularly run super long distances on the daily, especially for my easy runs. Maybe 100 grams of carbs, but certainly trying to have more intention with the before and during, fueling for, you know, for my workouts. I really want to progress. You know, I want my training sessions to be quality. When it comes to speed workouts in particular, I want those reps to be crisp the whole way through, keeping pace, if not increasing it, you know, as best as we can. So hopefully 100 grams of carbs per hour is the recipe for success here. We'll see. I'm backlit. It's a little better. Running in nature, being in nature, not even necessarily running, but running itself, you know, and nature itself. And the combination of the two are so important. I really missed, I used to live and work in Tahoe. See, like, Just look at this. It's like a beautiful deer on my run. I just saw some geese too. You see them? Nature, I think, teaches the art of noticing. And it's super, a super good opportunity and environment for self-reflection. It's where I found a lot of peace on my running journey and just in recent months as I think about having graduated college, next steps, life, That being said, I've never run on this trail. I grew up here, Columbus, Ohio, and there's a lot of things I feel like I haven't discovered or explored, including nature in this area, the Olentangy River Trail that we're on right now, right? So I guess this is a new chapter of exploring, noticing, training. We're going to be running, of course, and I'm looking forward to it. You get outside, it's important. Everyone nowadays has electric scooters, which is an interesting phenomenon. It obviously coincides with, the rise of technology in the digital age, social media, perhaps kicking it off. But, it's all, in my opinion, part of the same effect. And it saddens me sometimes to see kids, adults even, like on electric scooters, super disconnected from, beautiful physical processes like walking, running, biking, that certainly are hard work, but are rewarding and slower, less connected to technology, more connected to your environment, the physical sensations in your body. It's perhaps one of my favorite things about running. What I've been able to learn about my body, the changes I've been able to see over months, the changes I've been able to see in my body and how that compounds, over months. It's pretty cool. I started running. I need to hold this in my right hand. My shoulder's tired. I don't know how people do this. I gotta get bigger shoulders. I started running, like I said, 8 months ago. And in the time, there's a couple key items that I've purchased, will kind of live by at this point. I'm super grateful for. Number one, open shocks, open run headphones. Really good for safety as you hear the outside world, and overall has really good amplification of music still. So number one, that. Number two, good shoes. 3, maybe like either a flip belt or good shorts. I run in half tights probably like half the time now, especially when I need pockets. I'm trying to think what else. I love sun hoodies, and I almost always run in hats. So, thinking about polyester material clothing that you're comfortable in, super important. Yeah, the nutrition, of course. Yeah. In the time I've been able to run, though, I've seen a lot of progress. I remember starting in March, not even at altitude. Columbus, Ohio sits at around 700 feet of elevation, I think. It's not a lot. That's nothing, actually. And I was running about 12 to 13 minute easy pace. Like, that was what it required for me to stay in zone 2. It was actually extremely infuriating to even try to, maintain what felt like a walking pace and still see my heart rate skyrocket. 8 months down the line. Well, 5 months down the line. For a marathon in July, I was in a good spot, having trained for a while, and still then, my easy pace probably only settled to about 10:30 for that same about 140, 150 BPM. zone 2. And now, in the last 2 months of running, it's accelerated, my progress is accelerating even more to where I'm pretty easily able to maintain 8:30 to 9-minute pace for zone 2. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, This is why I just love running, and I'm here to share it with you all. It's pretty loud right here, so I don't even know if I'll be able to hear this video. I'm off the highway. Not a big fan of that, to be honest. This is a beautiful trail, but it's literally right next to thousands of cars, going 60 miles per hour. It's noisy. It's not always the experience you want, but it is beautiful. Here I have my first gel. I'm gonna try it. It's very liquidy, which when it comes to gel consistency, I'm not always a fan of. No bandwagon. I've always been a really big fan of the BPN Go Gels, I think is what it's called. Yeah, particularly the berry flavor. The mixed berry flavor is really good. And the consistency in particular is just right. It's like applesauce more than any weird liquidy, syrupy sort of thing. I don't like the syrups, That being said, this is cheaper. And for this high carb fueling, I'm trying to do it on a budget. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to assume it doesn't taste very good either. It's an original flavor. They don't actually have any other flavors besides original. It's probably just going to taste like sugar. Yeah, not exciting, but we're going to do a taste test and we're going to, find out if it's any good or not. I need to find a little place to stand this up. Noisy. That's not gonna stand. Consistency wise, actually fine. It's it's watered down maple syrup. It's actually what the flavor is a lot like too. Maybe a little bit less mapley and more, but still same level of sweetness. I'm not crazy about it. It'll do the job. 5 miles in, 3.5 to go. We're averaging 9:32 pace. Last lap, 9:22. So overall pretty good. Deer are big ass animals. It's kind of scary dealing with them. I don't know. There's a lot of them in Ohio. I didn't know if that was gonna be a standoff, but they're scaredy cats. I am too, but we made it to Columbus Park of Roses. It doesn't look like much when I'm just pointing at it, but it's pretty. I came here once a couple of years ago, early on in college, when I was visiting one summer. Surprisingly, that was the first time, and this is the second. And I've lived in this city for, I lived in this city for 18 years of my life. Yeah. We're at mile 7, maybe 7.5. And we're on our way home. It's been beautiful, really nice. The best run I've had in Ohio. And certainly in the past 2 weeks of being home. Just hasn't been the same. But this feels like turning a new leaf. It's nice. We're back. We did 9 miles, a little bit more than the 8.5 original prediction. Felt good. I haven't had a long run in 2 weeks, and 9 miles is a little bit shorter than I would normally go for a long run, but it's a deload week in theory. So that's what that's about, and overall it's just nice to ease back into it. Felt pretty good whole way through, which is great. I did leg day like 2 days ago. Had some soreness, especially in my hamstring and upper hamstring, lower glute area. But yeah, didn't really bother me. Felt like I was able to stay strong. My heart rate was a little high here and there, like it just kept spiking for no reason. And I'm honestly starting to believe that my Garmin heart rate monitor, the sensor on the back, something's a little off with it, because like sometimes it'll predict my heart rate lower than it actually feels. And I also wear an armband, and something the armband will say it's higher, a lot more accurate to what I would think it is at any given moment. So I don't know, gotta figure that out still, but good run. Tomorrow's, I guess, a rest day in theory, but we'll see what we get up to. Yeah.